All right, so let's move into Coimbra, as it were, virtually, and take a look at this wonderful city of Coimbra. It's not just a city; it's a district as well, and we'll step through very quickly before we look at some property in Coimbra and a really nice cabin in the woods. You know, I feature real high-end luxury stuff, but also feature this off-grid material properties as well, which I think are really special in Portugal. But before we go there, and I'm going to share a few different styles of property with you today. Let's have a look at some of the attractions of Coimbra, and that's the kind of vista you'll get. That's the university sort of plaza, I guess. Just have a sip of my tea. Mm. Actually, a honeygger today, vinegar and honey for breakfast drink. Yeesh, supposed to be good for me. There are so many things to do in Coimbra, and you'll soon realize it has a very special mystique. Thanks to gotoportugal.eu for this things to do in Coimbra feature. A very special mystique, the result of a past full of history, absolutely. This city, located in central Portugal, was the second Portuguese capital. The first was Guimarães, up until 1255 when Lisbon became the capital. So historically very important, and a very ancient museum, not museum, well, yes, ancient museums, but very ancient university as well. I think among the oldest in the world. Thousands of Portuguese people in the country and abroad still have Coimbra in their hearts, remembering the years they spent there in university, years of nonchalance, parties, and great expectations. Isn't that lovely to hear the word nonchalance at this time of the morning? And imagine a fairly foppish lifestyle of being a university student, having a great time in this wonderful city. So, number one for gotoportugal.eu. Oh, and good morning to Mansell, who says he still tunes in. And great to see I'm still broadcasting. Yeah, still having a go, Mansell, still having a go. And good morning to you in the United Kingdom, in the southwest of the United Kingdom. I shall be hopefully raising a glass with your ambassador to this country at lunchtime. So, Seminario Maior de Coimbra, this beautiful place located close to the Botanical Garden, which you must also go to. This building, however, is 250 years old and one of the treasures yet to be found by those visiting the city. So a little bit of a secret, it would appear, the Seminario Maior de Coimbra. Fado ao Centro is where you can find out about Fado, one of the 3 Fs that a taxi driver once told me was really important in Portugal. Fatima, the Catholic Mecca, if you like. Football, obviously, and Fado. So Fatima, football, and Fado. Fado here. If you want to hear music that truly represents Portugal, don't miss the opportunity to get to know the house Fado ao Centro. Here, the band that plays Fado is composed of students and former students of the University of Coimbra, and they will have those marvelous black capes on that I believe J.K. Rowling was inspired by on one of her visits to Portugal. There's a few references, I think, Portuguese things that she was influenced by that appear in the Harry Potter books, the aforementioned Harry Potter books, actually. And look, the traditional Portuguese instrument on the left, and I think a fairly straightforward guitar on the right, and a man singing his heart out, fado style, and some other gentlemen behind from the 50s or 60s singing fado as well. So there you go. Number 3, Santa Clara a Velha Monastery. It's pretty beautiful, doesn't it? Don't miss the opportunity to visit Santa Clara a Velha Monastery, founded in 1283, where you can see the old monastery site. Number 4, Santa Clara a Nova Monastery, another monastery, also known as the Queen St. Elizabeth Convent, erected in the 17th century, 1649 to be precise, ruined by regular flooding of the Mondego River. Bad planning there. Machado de Castro National Museum have been here or just popped in. I think we had loads of kids with us, so it didn't seem entirely appropriate to go with lots of tiny children. Museums are awesome here, and this will be no exception. Museum where the modern and contemporary meet, magnificent architecture bringing to light the Roman Cryptoporticus, obviously. In addition, it offers to visitors the best artwork and historical paintings, and a fabulous view across the city from up there as well. A nice part of town near the museum, near the university. I keep saying museum. Maybe it's because I used to work in a museum. I used to work at the Natural History Museum in London. University of Coimbra Alta and Sofia. Look at that. That's the plaza that we looked at on entry into this showcasing of Coimbra in this article from gotoportugal.eu. It's lovely up there. Again, beautiful view over the river and across the city from up on that high point of the town. and just a lovely place to be. It's like, I suppose, the St. Mark's Square of Coimbra, if you like, or Trafalgar Square. Listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, University of Coimbra must be on your list of things to do in Coimbra. One of the oldest in Europe, founded in Lisbon in 1290, not 1920. In 1290, it moved permanently to Coimbra in 1537. There you go. Look at there's one of their libraries. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely. You would have a sense of occasion taking a book out of that library, wouldn't you, with the red carpet and a ladder up to the books? Probably are not allowed to in that library, to be fair. More than 60,000 volumes dating from the 12th century until the 18th century, of which law, theology, and philosophy books stand out. Coimbra's old cathedral, there's Zé Velha. If I'm right, Zé is short for José, so that will be Old St. Joseph's, but shortened there to Zé Velha. And that's also in a really lovely part of town with a few bars and restaurants not far from the cathedral. I've had a lovely lunch there, actually. And number 8, Santa Cruz Church and Monastery, the Igreja y Mosteiro, Monastery and Church. To the right of it, you'll see a fabulous restaurant, a cafe restaurant. This is where I saw the Christmas lights being turned on. I think the vinegar and honey drink, it is meant to be good for me, but that is not evident so far. So excuse me and the quality of my voice this morning. An enthralling church, starting with its architecture, Gothic style, and a gateway remembering Coimbra Fado. Really awesome square. Saw the Christmas lights being turned on there. And to the right, that lovely ancient cafe restaurant building. And there's a little lane. If you got that little ramp there where the BMX bike is, that is a lovely walkway through to the other sort of end of town, the river end of town. It's a really nice part of town to visit. Is that 8.1? Cafe Santa Cruz. Yes, I guess that is the cafe inside the church, or the cafe I just talked about. Yes, that is the cafe next door to the church that I just mentioned there. Really nice interior. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Sense of history in there. And number 9, Portugal dos. Oh, yes, I've seen this place, driven past it. Portugal dos Pequenitos. This is the model village. Whenever you want to spend time with your family and are visiting Coimbra, don't miss the opportunity to see the theme park, Portugal dos Pequenitos Park. You will find the biggest Portuguese monuments, the typical villages, and the Portuguese discoveries, but at a small scale. Yes, model village of Portugal. And do you want to receive exclusive tips to help you prepare for your holidays in Portugal? Yes, but not now. Goodbye. It sent me through anyway to booking.com, the rascals. This is what happens, isn't it? When you browse the web live on Facebook Live. Almadina Arch and Tower. Yes, as you wander up to the top of town from the station end, from the central station, 2 stations in Coimbra. Coimbra B is the kind of interchange on the edge of town, and Coimbra Central, Coimbra A, I guess. You can come out of there, head across the road, go through a few narrow lanes, and before long, you're into these beautiful, winding, calçadas, little cobbled streets with lovely little archways, one of them being celebrated here, the Almadina Arch and Tower. So head up there as well. Almadina Arch was the main gateway of the medieval wall, said to be the oldest part of the door, which is from the 19th. What am I doing with my numbers this morning? It is said that the oldest part of the door is from the 9th century. Yes, Carl, the 9th century, not the 19th century. That wouldn't be very ancient, would it? The function of the Almadina Tower, erected over the Almadina Arch, was to protect the main gateway into the city, where no doubt people would throw unspeakable things from the city wall onto people they didn't want to come into the walled part and disturb their privacy. So there you go. Thank you to Go to Portugal and your guide for things to do in Coimbra. That's just scratching the surface, as you might appreciate, but certainly some lovely things to do there. And I did mention the botanical gardens, which you should go to as well. But so much to see and do in Coimbra. A lovely place. A couple of great shopping centres as well, if you like that kind of thing. Yeah, loads to do there. Fabulous place, fabulous city, fabulous district. And the Coimbra district, of course, has the Figueira de Foz beach as part of its facilities, as well as the smaller beaches that I mentioned, I think, on Tuesday. Mira and Toca, I think, are within the Coimbra district. So, yes, it is one of my top 5 districts of Portugal, Coimbra. I'm looking forward to being there this afternoon.